Hi everyone, this is Lady T with your Gemini Halloween reading for October 2022. It is entitled Witches, Shadows, and Magic. And this is a layered reading, so it's going to take a couple of minutes to get through it, but it shouldn't be that long. Before we get started, I want to say thank you for any kind of support that you provide to me on the channel, and I do hope that the messages help you in some way, because that's truly my goal, is to help people. Now, let's go ahead and get to your center energy, Gemini. So you got the Ace of Pentacles, so really doing well. Feeling maybe a new opportunity, some new finances have come in, or perhaps a new business venture is working out very well for you. But this definitely speaks to a new beginning with the Ace of Pentacles. You've got the Page of Cups here, so perhaps some love offer is coming in from either somebody who's younger, or um, there's something coming in from somebody, and it could be unfortunately an immature kind of offer, but it could be from a younger person. But either way, it's an offer of some sort, and Cups is about love. So and it could be an emotional display of love for you. Your undermining energy is the Four of Wands, so really wanting um stability, in having good times as you move forward, in perhaps a higher level of commitment down the road, depending on where this goes. Challenging position was what led up to this, which is the Nine of Wands. So, sort of coming out of that wounded warrior kind of thing, right? You've been through the battle, and you survived, and you're sort of recuperating, if you will, from all of this. And then your outcome is the Four of Cups. So did you perhaps turn down something that you were offered, and now you're feeling, that maybe that's not the right, maybe that's not the best choice you could have made, kind of thing. But let's go ahead and get to your other messages. So hopefully we can get some clarification here. So the first messages we have are from the Oracle of the Mystics. The second grouping, the smaller cards here, that's from the Witch's Oracle. So let's go ahead and see what we have here. First message we have is Wild Witch, and it says, grow with nature and seek solitude in work. So perhaps maybe either being an entrepreneur by yourself kind of thing, or remaining by yourself and not necessarily taking on any kind of group projects, because there is some growing, some lessons, or some healing that needs to take place. So you are encouraged to go out into nature to do this as well. Now you have the Hare as the clarifier. So let me get the cards that speak to this, because I haven't used this deck in a minute. And it says Hare is transformation, independence, and freedom. So really wanting to move on from a situation, perhaps. Maybe it is a work-related situation. Maybe it's a romantic situation. It can be either. But really wanting to move forward, and change some things about it. So maybe you're going to go out into nature. You're going to get some insights, some wisdom, some knowledge given to you by Mother Gaia, and the natural order of things when you're in nature, that's going to help you. Next, you have you have Covenant of Enlightenment, and it says strengthen in camaraderie, and ascension through others. So really perhaps in going in nature, or going out and celebrating with this Four of Wands here, perhaps meeting others that are from your tribe that can help you to grow, and to learn, and to strengthen. But we also have a clarifier of the Toad here, which, let's see what that's talking about. Okay, so the Toad speaks to self-worth, hidden beauty, or self-respect. So perhaps maybe helping to raise your vibration is what I'm getting there. Helping you to see, your self-worth, helping you to come into the authenticity of you, raising your hidden talents. These are all things that are coming through here. Next, we have Storm. We have tumult and change. stay on the path. So regardless of what's headed your way, even though it may be a storm of sorts, transformation usually does encounter some kind of storm. And that could be an internal storm. And maybe that's why you need to be with yourself and nature for a minute, to really calm your inner storm that's going to happen, right? We have the horseshoe that is, your clarifier. And if I'm not mistaken, horseshoes usually mean luck, but we'll see. Let's see here. Yeah, it says luck, peace, and happiness. So, really coming into a place, even though you may be in a storm, on the outside, on the other side of that storm is the peace that you are seeking. So, you may have to go through the storm, or you may need to remain at peace through the storm. Now we have your last message here, which is Wise Witch. It says kindness and comfort, the ageless moon. And your clarifier is the moon, which I think is very apropos. And the moon, I want to say, speaks to, in most decks, it means usually illumination. But yeah, it usually means cycles too. In this card, it's specifically speaking to cycles, loss and gain, personal growth. So you have like a large majority of your cards talking about growth, transformation, cycles. So this is about really closing things out, is what I'm getting here. Next, we have your shadow aspect. So the first deck we have here is the Shadow and Light Oracle, Shadows and Light Oracle. And the first card we have here is Violet Angel, Breaking Dawn. And you know that, as they say, it's quietest before, it's, what is it? You know, uh, it's darkest before the dawn. Okay, so you may have some times where you are feeling, that it's been pretty dark for you as far as not being able to see the light. But because you have breaking dawn, that tells me you're going to have the breakthrough that you're looking for. And the shadow aspect to look at is the volatile shadow. Explosive temper and easy to anger. Moody, feels strongly, and overreacts. Before you spring into action, ask yourself if your anger is a friend or an enemy. And so, really, what you want to do here with that is really get to the root of where this anger is stemming from. And, most of the time when we have these outbursts, it's due to some trigger from someone else. It's usually an outside entity that triggers us. It could be a person, a situation, etc. It triggers us, and we can do one of two things with that. We can react as we always do, or we can play the investigator in our own lives, and turn that around to see what's underneath it. Because anger is a very superficial emotion. There's usually hurt and pain and other things underneath it that we have to get to the root of. So, really thinking about a situation or situations that cause you to be triggered in this anger state, and really getting to the bottom of that, so that you don't make or take any action that you might regret later. Next, we have Carnivorous Flower Fairy. A tempting offer has a high price. So, really being careful what you are saying yes to as you move forward. Are you willing to pay the price long term of this quick win? That's what I'm getting there. Next, we have Unforgiving Shadow. Not disposed to forgive or show mercy, merciless, uncompromising, and grudgeful. So, are you holding a grudge perhaps? And that's what's feeding this anger that you have going on over here. If you look for signs of disrespect or reasons to be angry, you will find them. Align yourself with a loving vibration. Which one was it? I want to say it might have been the toad that talked about hidden beauty and respect. Let me see here. Let me look that back up here. I'm going to look at the hare and the toad. Okay, yeah, it wasn't. It was probably the toad, I think. Let's see here. Let me find it again. Yes, self-worth, hidden beauty, and self-respect. So, maybe that's the trigger for you where you feel disrespected. That is a trigger point for you. So, really taking a look at that. Next, we have Nautilus Princess, powerful personal growth. I mean, you've had nothing but growth cards, really, honestly, across the board in every area so far. I mean, it says Instigator Shadow, stir up trouble and create conflict, calculating pushes buttons, provoker. So really, what are you trying to provoke and why? What is that all about? Because to me, that's sort of like a manipulative behavior, right? And it seeks to use manipulation to control others, to provoke others into an action, and that's really not appropriate, nor is it healthy for you or the person that this is occurring to. So really taking a look at, if you act in a way that is positive, and minimal drama, you can attract the same kind of positive situations and people. So really turning that kind of behavior around, because nobody likes their buttons pushed, and you can, get what you ask for, but sometimes that can really burn some bridges. So be very careful with that. Okay, next we have Lantern Fairy, a clear solution. So really getting that aha, epiphany moment where you know what to do. And then you have Duality Shadow, unable to merge two opposite sides of them, double life, conflict within, split personality. And then I say that storm was internal storm, okay? So really taking a look at that. And what is this storm about? It says, learn to embrace your opposite sides, appreciate them, and realize that each one contains something valuable. We all have a light and dark side, right? That's why I chose the shadows and light deck to begin with, because, part of the thing that we love to do is we love to disassociate from our darker side. Like, nope, I can't let anybody see this side to me, as it's totally unacceptable to the world. The problem is that we all have a darker side. We all have a light side, we have a dark side, and we have to accept both in order to have true authenticity as we move forward. And you might not like what you see. But every part of you has made you who you are, not just the light side. So really coming into acceptance for that within yourself. Now let's go ahead and get into our magic messages. So the first deck we used here was Believe in Your Own Magic Oracle. Then we have the Making Magic Oracle, and we have the Wishcraft Oracle. So the first message here is nostalgia. Focus on the here and now, really, which speaks to staying in the present. Staying in the past keeps you stuck in the past. And this is really all about us all learning the lessons of leaving the past in the past, taking the wisdom with us as we move forward into these new beginnings, right? So we've got excuse me, abracadabra with wings. Fantastic good fortune and lucky chances. So you've got some great opportunities coming your way, but you do have some shadow that you have to address, and so that's what this is all about. What do we really need to work on here? And you've got Saturn direct. And Saturn direct, if you've been watching any of the readings, they talk about Saturn as the teacher, the teacher who comes back into the classroom and assesses the lessons you've learned and what have you truly learned while I've been gone, kind of thing, right? So really taking a look at what you learned, and what you still need to learn, perhaps. So we've got the magic potion. I can create magic anytime I wish. So this is really stepping into your power, right? You don't have to stay in this dark side of you, these things that cause you to do X, Y, or Z, right? But you do need to work through them, and you do need to acknowledge them. Disassociating them or denying them, it creates that internal storm that we talked about. Next, we have, excuse me, we have I am always enough, lighthouse, don't doubt your worth. And I know I mentioned a card about worth, your self-worth. So one of those, the toad, was the card that I'm talking about here. So really stepping into your self-worth, stepping into your power, accepting all of you as you are, and learning to really work with that as you move forward. Next, we have breaking bad habits, self-acceptance. I can't even, these cards are repeating just what I said. Self-acceptance and excellent mental health. Because when you are in an internal struggle with yourself, it really does feel like a mental battle, right? You had the Nine of Wands over here too. So remember, we talked about the wounded warrior, right? You've gone through the battle, and you're still going through the battle because that's your challenge position there as to what led up to this. Next, we have the Phoenix. How's that for happily ever after? So the Phoenix rises after you've gone through the fire, right? The phoenix rises on the other side, and that leads me to the breaking down message here. So you are going to break through. You are going to rise from the ashes here, but you are going to have to do the work to do so. And that's not the easy part, okay? Self-confidence, again, we've talked about self-worth, self-acceptance, self-respect, hidden beauty. We have all of these things that are coming to fruition for you. And then we have self-confidence, strong self-belief, and sense of worth. So really stepping into your power here as we move forward, and understanding that you are worthy, that you have a right to be confident, not cocky, right? There is a difference. And then we also have your witchcraft message of I am generous and loving. You know, being kind to yourself as you go through this, and then also on the other side of that, being able to share that kindness, right? And generosity, that loving side to you, as you integrate all aspects of you into who you want to be on the other side, right? And then move forward in that generous, loving way that is natural to you. And then the last message we have here: shark, swim away from the situation. So there is a warning here. Some kind of situation that you could be potentially in, you are being warned to swim away from it. I don't know what that is. Maybe that's this Page of Cups doing this offer thing coming in to you. I'm not sure, but you know what your situation is. So please heed the warning as necessary. You've got prosperity here, a prosperous business and riches and success. So maybe somebody coming in and trying to perhaps mess with that is what you're being asked to swim away from. So really thinking about that. And then you have your candle magic. Every day things are getting better. So again, the journey to authenticity, the journey to healing, the journey to learning and growing and transformation, it never ends for one. And it is a step-by-step journey. Okay, so remember that as you take each step, each day gets better, and that's why you have the breaking down to encourage you to keep moving. Stay on your path. Don't get off your path. You know what you're supposed to be doing, and if you're not totally sure, you will get the enlightenment. Just ask for what is the next step I need to take when you either meditate or you pray. You go into nature, and you are looking for assistance and advice. Use your spirit team by praying to them and asking them for support, because that's what they're there for, but they can't come in and help you if you don't ask for it. So I do hope this helps you, Gemini. Much love and light, Lady T.